Hey everyone, this is Andres Soklal of Extra Time TV. And for those of you who don't know, Trinidad is a new coach. Everybody has their opinions. But joining us today is former 2006 Soca Warrior, goalkeeper, Kelvin Jack. Played in Scotland, a legend of the game. How are you today, Kelvin?
Yeah, I'm not too bad. Not too bad at all.
All right, so it's always a pleasure to have you. You spoke with us before, taking time out of your schedule to give us your insight on the situation. So I'll get straight into it. There's a new coach. What are your thoughts?
Well, I've been looking at social media and stuff with people's reaction to the new manager. Obviously who was just appointed. Different people have different coaches they think should have been given the job. My opinion. I also have my opinion who I think should have been given the job. I think without question Terry Fennick should have gotten the job. He's been in Trinidad for quite a while now. Terry was my manager when I played for Salmon Jablote. I've compared him to different managers I've played for, and I just think he's an outstanding manager. Trinidad and Tobago lucky to have him, somebody of his stature, his knowledge of the game, his work ethic, his passion, and it's a travesty we haven't used someone like him, and he's been here for so long, and we missed a trick there. We missed a big trick, but talking about the new manager, obviously, he's not very well known. He's not a household name. He's not like a bean hacker who came in 10 years ago, 11 years ago now, and changed the entire fortunes of the team and so forth. So I've always said, whoever is the manager, you have to support the manager. We've moved on from Stephen Hart. Whether he should have been sacked or not, at this stage, it's irrelevant because he did lose his job, unfortunately. And whoever is in place now, fans have to support that guy. You cannot be angry with the new manager. If you're angry, you have to direct that anger towards the federation and the selection process, and maybe direct your anger to people on the committee, because some of the people on the committee I've seen, and to be honest, I'm being brutally honest here, they are in no position whatsoever to be able to select a manager for the national side. Some of them are clueless, and it's just saddening that they are entrusted with selecting the most important footballing coach in the country. So we have to support him. He obviously he has said all the right things. He he probably has a good work ethic. We don't know him. We really don't know him. Maybe he could just change things and help us to improve. We wouldn't know until he's able to get his philosophy in, and get the team, set his team up, and set the team up in a certain shape. Or it's just one of those things. The president, he hired him, and then he had and I need to say this. He reportedly more or less told him he's got 2 games. If I'm right, he's got 2 games to sort it out. Pardon? Yeah, which I find absolutely astonishing that he would say something like that. Maybe he would say that privately to him. If I was that manager and he said that publicly like that, I would say, sod you on your job. You could keep your job. I find that unbelievably disrespectful to him. But the coach, maybe he's kept his anger inside. But I'm just lost for words that he would make a statement like that. You more or less have 2 games, or we're gonna get rid of you. Who is he to say that? He's not qualified enough he's never played the game at any level. The president, the TTFA president, David John Williams, he's not played the game at any level to talk about. He's not been a success as a player. He's not been a successful manager. He doesn't coach or anything, but he has the audacity to tell, a manager that. I just find that astonishing. But listen, it's just Trinidad and Tobago and the way things are done, it's no wonder we haven't progressed from 2006, Andre. It's it's sad to look at. 2006 we went to the World Cup. We it looks as though things was going forward, and since then we have not progressed. We haven't been able to build on that qualification. It's one shambles after another, one shambles after another. We have a change of presidency. They were so critical of Raymond Tim Key. They've come in. Have they done better? Have they been able to really attract big sponsors? Let's be honest. Is the answer yes? It's a resounding no. And if they don't get it right, they need to resign. It's as simple as that, Andrew. They've shown that they cannot make decisions and they're unable to make the right decisions. So if they don't get it right, if I'm on that committee, I would have said, you know what, I'll put my hand up and I'll resign because we've gotten it very, very wrong. But they won't resign because, they all want to be on that committee. They all want to have that status to say, oh, yeah, I'm on this committee, I'm on that committee. They're not good at their job, mind you. They're not good at their job, but they want to be in that position to say, I select this coach, I select that coach. It's not good enough, Andrew. It's not good enough. But, if they ask me, I'll be honest, maybe they should ask me to do the selection for them and, we would improve. But they wouldn't do that because I'm not prepared to go in and, kiss the president's, behind. I'll keep the language clean, go and kiss his behind and, suck up to them and all that. You're a professional. This is how things are done in the professional world. You hire your manager, you leave the manager, let him do his job. You are an administrator, concentrate on administering. That's all you have to do. You are on a different side. You've hired someone, you can't micromanage. Leave the guy, let him do his job, right? Have good football people around you, so you'll be in a position to make informed decisions. I could tell you right now, they do not have a clue what they're doing. They're guessing. They are. It's almost laughable. It's almost laughable that it could be that bad. But the scary thing, Andrew, the scary thing is that they probably actually doing their best. They're doing their best, but their best just is.
And as you said, it's a result-oriented game as well. So, if in terms of evaluation, everybody uses KPIs, and everybody needs to be assessed and say, okay, this isn't working. That's why we have a democratic process, supposedly. But Stephen, just to build on what you said, Stephen Hart said and I'm not quoting it exactly, but he said the current system that we have in place in Trinidad and Tobago is designed for failure. And as you said, basically echoing what you said, that is too much of a guessing game. We try to put things in place and hope it works. And he said he would have loved to have had 2 more years, to continue his work, because it's not an overnight process to rebuild and get the team back where it should be to be consistently competitive. And to me, it seems that that's a general consensus by a lot of people, yourself and other former players and people who are involved in the game, former players as well. So, in terms of from this point moving forward, the coach is now in position, and as you said, so we have to move forward. Stephen Hart is no longer there. We are at a stage in the qualifiers where results are all that matter right now. So. Interestingly enough, we didn't qualify for the Gold Cup directly, but we also have some unexpected qualifiers. Do you think that's like a blessing in disguise for the current coach, who's basically coming into a new country, learning the players, the network from top to bottom? Do you think us not qualifying for the Gold Cup and having these extra games will be an asset to him?
It could, and it could be. But obviously the Gold Cup puts you in a more in a very competitive mode. So that could help you in World Cup qualifying and all that, obviously. But it's going to take him a little while to really assess what he has. He needs to assess his players. He needs to know, who he could depend on, who's really up to the standard to be able to instill his philosophy. Um, it's not going to be easy for him. It's not going to be easy at all. He needs all the players to be on board. The games, yes, he could use the games to, I shouldn't say experiment, but to get a winning formula. Because, the point you made is correct. Right now, it's all about getting a result. But we still have to remember, you must do certain things to get a result. We could talk about getting a result, but, if it is for instance, just giving away possession, we not defending set pieces properly, we're not defending in the box, properly, things like that. If we don't do, the basics right, we wouldn't get a result. So, a lot is also on the players, a lot of them on the play, a lot of responsibility on the players. So yeah, we talk about the coach, and obviously the coach, he's the one who sets the team up and puts the team out. But also the players. The players really need to be stand up. Really need to stand up and be counted, and perform. They've got to perform as a player. When you've played well and you haven't played well. And I look at all the games, analyze the games, go through things, and too many of the players are making the same errors, and that can be, as a professional, you can't be making the same errors game after game. We concede too many goals. When we look at the games, we concede far too many goals. I think we've conceded something like 24 in like 10 games. So you're talking about 2.4 per game, and let's not be fooled and say we played Peru or we played Uruguay or we played China and these teams, right? That's the level you have to be at. So we can't use that and say, well, we played these teams, that's why we consider these goals. No, that's the level you're going to have to be at the World Cup. So you have to defend better. You've got to be able to defend better as a team and individually. So we've got to improve. It's a lot of improvement. A lot of improvement needed.
Interestingly enough, it's almost like you read my mind. That's literally where my next question was going. Being a player yourself, you spoke about the players and what they have to do. You yourself, this is why your insight is so important, because we, fans have a tendency to react emotionally, and, you can't blame them as well, because they only see and respond to what they see. But you were there in the 2006 qualifying campaign where, it started off with 2 losses, and, as a player, psychologically, what does it take going from that position as a player? What do you tell yourself? How do you psychologically build yourself? What is required to go from that point to let's get some results and get our qualifying campaign back on track?
It comes down to the individual. The manager also have a crucial role to play as well. The manager needs to keep everyone relaxed and to try to reduce that tension. Just try to keep a good atmosphere in training sessions and so forth. But what worked for me personally, and each player would have their own way in which they prepare for games and all that. What worked for me is that I alienated myself from the media. I wouldn't read stuff in the press. I wouldn't read stuff about my teammates. I wouldn't read stuff about myself, because you don't want any negative thoughts at all in your head. You need to focus on you. You need to actually live your life in a way where qualification is all that matters. So it means, your family going to be neglected. They're supposed to understand that, because they know that you're trying to achieve something that, is historical. The family have to understand that. Your girlfriend need to understand that. Your wife need to understand that. Your mom, your dad, everyone, they need to understand that and give you that space to be able to do your job properly. It's almost like you have to be obsessed with it. It has to be an obsession, to want to perform well. And if each player performs well within himself and really, really focuses and performs well, obviously you'll get a quality performance from the team. So I think that's what's required. Whether we could do that, we'll know in the next few months. We know in the next few months. But listen, I'm hoping for the best. I just love Trinidad. Everybody who know me know that, it seriously bothers me when we don't win. I may be living here in the UK, but I follow everything. I look at the game. I look at the game obviously in a different perspective now as an aspiring manager, obviously. So it really, really does bother me when when we don't do as well as we should have.
Yeah, it is interesting because, at the end of the day, we'll all have very strong opinions, we'll disagree and some people will agree, but it just shows at the end of the day that everybody wants Trinidad to do well, whether the approach is where people disagree. A lot of people, we spoke at great length about, the development, we spoke about tactics, we spoke about the players, but just to end it off, a lot of people have been calling, for the head of Kelvin Jones. For whatever reason, whatever the result, once the result is bad, he has been getting a lot of criticism. Do you think it's a fair assessment of his game? Do you think it's fair, the criticism he's getting?
Listen, Kelvin is the captain.
Yeah.
Right? Mm-hmm. And he's a big boy. He would know this comes with being the captain of Trinidad and Tobago, captain of the national team. Mm-hmm. He knows that the criticism, he's the one there who will be forced to be criticized. Mm-hmm. He's played at a high level. He's been a Premier League player. He's playing the English Championship for a long time. So he will be able to live with that criticism. Yeah. Yes, it may have an effect on him because we're all human beings and so forth. But I have no doubt Kelvin could. It's something he could deal with. Yeah. Whether I think it's justified or not, right? I could call 8 or 9 players on the team. I could seriously criticize, and trust me, I could seriously criticize them. Yeah. Looking back at the errors they continue to make, their positional play. Some of them in midfield, some of the defenders. The way that they don't look over their shoulders when they ball out wide. Yeah, it's astonishing some of the errors I see. So we all want to criticize Kelvin Jones. We all wanted to criticize the manager Hart, for playing Kelvin Jones and so forth. But you remember the manager is the one who's seen training. Yeah, he's the one conducting his training sessions. He is seeing everyone. So it's almost an insult you're saying to the manager that Kelvin shouldn't be playing. So you're saying that the manager really doesn't know what he's doing. We are not in training. Yep. Right? We are not there to see the good things Kelvin will be doing in training. The good things someone else will be doing in training. And the bad things someone else will be doing in training.
Yeah, oftentimes.
So, it's not Kelvin alone. It's not Kelvin alone. I am, just flabbergasted by it that we could say that Kelvin is the reason why we have been performing so poorly. Is Kelvin the reason why we've conceded 24 goals in 10 games? Is Kelvin the reason why we can't create chances? He's a reference point. He's a striker. Yeah. Right? We have to get the ball to him and give him, clear opportunities. So, people, fans, they're probably talking on emotion and they're just emotional about it all. So, but proper football people, they would look at it and be like, he's not the reason why the team isn't doing well. Yeah. He is part of the reason because he's part of the team. But to say that he is the sole reason why we're not doing as well as we should have is very, very wrong. Yeah. Very, very wrong. I'm like, listen, I'm not a politician. I don't have to say that because Kelvin is my friend or he's a party teammate or something. I don't have to. If he's not doing well, Kelvin, no. I talk to him, I text him or whatever. Yeah. I would say he's not doing well. But it's unfair for people to say that the reason the team is not doing well is because of Kelvin Jones. If you're saying that, you honestly don't know football. Yeah. Don't know football.
And that's why fans, a lot of people, fans have the luxury of just sitting and saying things without knowing the entire, and that's why fans can't be coaches. There's a reason why the fans are allowed to be emotional and say things, drop this guy, fire this coach. But it really doesn't work that way. And often, when people calm down and think about things calm, this is why your insight and people like Shaka, Hart, Stern and all those guys and people who are in there, Terry Fenwick as well, it's good. Maybe it educates the fans that it's not just cut and dry as it seems. There's a lot of variables and factors that are often overlooked. I mean, they just see the final product on the day. But you know, so they are, and I mean, at the end of the day, it's their right to say what they want. But you know, as a person and as an individual, you always, when you want to give an opinion, you would like to know that you know all the facts and all the facts. So you know, it's this is why we speak to guys like yourself. You know, your input is valuable because you have been there. You also understand intangibles that fans don't see. And it's not just the 90 minutes on the field, but the preparation. So this is why, you know, it's always great to have you. So Kelvin, you know, we don't want to keep you back. We're definitely going to follow up on this for sure because we have more games to continue. We also have the Gold Cup qualifiers. So we'll definitely be keeping in touch with yourself and all the other guys to hear your very, very valuable opinions because it adds validity to the analysis. So Kelvin, it's been a pleasure. You know, we look forward to chatting with you soon.
All right, my pleasure.
All right, Kelvin.
All right, take care.
Okay, guys, so don't forget, if you like and subscribe our page on YouTube, Extra Time TV, you instantly qualify to win a copy of FIFA 17. So don't forget, like and subscribe.